Alright, and here we are about to go into the depths. This is part 4 of the Dark Souls walkthrough. Here we got, I believe, the Uchigatana +5, and I want to say somewhere in the 50-some poise range, thanks to the wolf ring. So don't have to worry too much about these guys. One of the main things we're looking for here is the large Ember, which allows you to ascend weapons to +6, which, as I've already covered, ascending or upgrading weapons in general improves both their base damage and their scaling, and I don't believe I have any large Titanite shards yet, but upgrading this to +6 or any weapon after it will definitely do a lot for damage output. So, more fire guys, great. These are just one of the enemies. Alright, up here is a butcher hiding on the rafters. I didn't understand what I think it's a she, I want to say. Because, what's his name, Laurentius in here? He's...
You.
Oh, she would have eaten me.
Here, over here. You must help me. I would have been a supper without being eaten alive. Thank you. I will not forget.
So, one would think that saving him from being eaten alive could be a little bit more cooperative and not charge you 10,000 souls at least for one spell, but that's just me. Upgrading your flame, I'd pay. I wouldn't object too much to helping out somebody who stopped me from being eaten alive, that's all I'm saying. Alright, butchers, very easy to backstab when they do that downward hit. I would really not advise blocking it, because it probably will drain a ton of stamina. They have almost no bleed resistance. Here you can see I'm doing it in 3 hits, which I want to say is... The katana has somewhere between 30 and 35 bleed build up, I believe, so it should be something like 100 bleed resistance. They do have the health that's going to allow you to hit them a few times, so it's not a bad idea to try that. Alright, down here, something to look out for. Again, either a rusted iron ring to move around fine in here, or because you're going to want to keep overhead swinging weapons to a minimum, thrusting attacks are always good in there, and because you can't reach without hitting the ceiling. Here, Butcher and her dog. I forgot about this other dog over here. I want to take care of them. It's, as with the Capra fight, you always want to take care of these dogs first, because not that they're so much an issue with having so much poise as I do here, but I don't like them running around. So, Butcher, as you can see, you know, even a falling attack is gonna do half the damage of what bleed will, so they do pretty decent stamina damage, like I said, but I'm just getting the range all wrong on here. I'm not sure what that left-hand tool is. I know that they can hit you with it, knock you onto the ground, and then cleaver you, but I couldn't tell you what that is. It's always the second one for me, I don't know. Whichever butcher you kill second is going to drop the sack, which I want to say you can trade to Snuggly for the Asylum Demon's weapon, the Demon's Great Hammer. It takes 46 or 48 strength, I think. Okay, here, Giant Rat. I thought this would get him, but it does not. So I thought he was gone here, and then suddenly I failed to add my katana to the battle axe that's in his eye, and So this is a good place to hide from him. I don't know if it's possible to do, you know, harass him with some soul arrows from here. I don't know. Rats, I don't really understand their behavior too much. They always run away, and then once they've left, they always come back. So I don't know. He doesn't do a huge amount of stamina damage to a decent shield. Rats are known for dropping humanity. Pre-DLC, or I guess in general, early game rats were the way to go for farming humanity. Right, definitely stay as far left on here as you can, or else you will fall into that sewer drain and die. This is important here. Go up these steps and unlock this door. It unlocks a shortcut, which will get you to, one, a bonfire, and this shortcut can very easily be used to get back to Caping Dragon fast, if need be. Another torch guy. This guy was the first one to kill me all in one combo, so I do not recommend taking him too lightly. Depths Bonfire. People like to invade in the depths around, I want to say, level 30, 25 to 35 or so. Here, Gaping Dragon has just an annoying amount of health. It's the most predictable fight, and it is not the strongest. Though I have been one-shotted by its tail when it wasn't moving at all. It had just stopped, and then I walked into it, and you know, I forgot to go with the channeler. Alright, there's a channeler above the boss room that will buff the dragon, as well as shoot soul arrows at you. If you don't plan on getting hit, then it won't make as much of a difference, but it is always better to be safe, as anything when buffed by channeler is always very dangerous. Right, there is a rat in that crate up there. He will bust out as soon as you get close, so approach with your shield up. And just give him a hit. Shield up prevents 1 damage and lessens the poison buildup. And had you not come in the other way, that right there, that body would have the sewer chamber key, which I picked up on the way back to the giant rat, which allows you to get into the bonfire room if you didn't have the master key. Here's the channeler. I was hoping that I would get his attention and have him come up here to deal with me. Unfortunately, he did not act the way I wanted him to. So I only hit one of them, but at this point these rats are going to take me down in 1 or 2 shots, and I really don't intend to let that happen, so of course I run away here, and I guess these rats, being bigger than the ones we've seen before, are too wide and they get stuck. I do not trust that, because with the amount that enemies clip through walls in this, I really never trust that kind of thing. But seeing him try to struggle out of it, I figured it was safe enough to go with the heavy attack. So now it's the channeler all alone, and channelers are not a huge threat when they're by themselves. Crush Shield again helps here. With its 80% magic block, and I'm just going to Humble Bone because I don't feel like walking back. So, back to the bonfire. I am gonna take on the Gaping Dragon now. So again, upgrade my B scaling with Dexterity Katana. Not that it's going to make a huge difference, just hopefully make the fight a little bit shorter. These slimes here, people use them to farm green and, I believe, large shards, Titanite. I don't do that because the drop rate is just really awful, and I think it's better to just wait for Blighttown if you're going to want to farm green shards, because the leeches or slugs or whatever they are drop 5 green shards or 1 large shard at a time, and they have a much better drop rate. You can probably get, with just 1 humanity, you can get, 2, maybe 3 drops a trip. So, enough to upgrade a weapon from +5 to +10 in maybe 20 minutes. With that. Though stacking the Gold Serpent Ring from later on in Sun's Fortress, if you decide to come back, will definitely benefit you. Gaping Dragon. Give the cinematic here. When it does its bite down attack, you're going to want to hit it in the head. It does more damage, and back off. Staying behind a cut tail is easily the safest place to fight it from. Here it's going to do its bite down, which does massive damage if it hits you, so don't get caught up in that, but it's not a bad strategy to try to bait the hit so that you can hit it in the head. See, the dragon still acts as if it is, as if it still has its tail, and alright, this, yeah, stay away from that. It corrodes your armor and weapon. I'm not positive it still affects secondary weapons, but alright, Gaping Dragon down, you get Homer Bone, a Twin Humanity, and 25,000 souls, which is nothing to complain about. Just waiting until I made sure I got them. I don't think it matters at all, but, So I definitely don't want to go into Blighttown with 25,000 because I am 100% sure I'm going to die. So I always die for stupid reasons. And here, with the 12 attunement that I got, I'm going to set myself up with both heal and force. Force is a miracle that does no damage, starts with 21 casts, and just causes a lot of knockback, and if an enemy is blocking, stamina damage. It's useful against the guys in Blighttown because they have a lot more health than I would expect, and they do gang up on you in groups of 3, and kicking them off edges isn't always an option when you're surrounded. So force, definitely a very good option in that case. Up here you've got Domin Hall of Xena. Once you beat Blighttown, then he... once you beat Blighttown, he is going to move to under the bridge with the Ring of Sacrifice. The sewer tunnel near Firelink Shrine.
That was...
You're going to have to jump or fall onto that. I love this part. Again, I promise I only do those for the camera here. Just watch the effects. Welcome to Blighttown. So, Blighttown's many people's favorite area because you are constantly or near constantly poisoned. And toxic shooting blow dart snipers. These guys can be parried, but they have so much health that it's not always worth it. They're slow enough that you can get in a lot of hits on them. They drop dung pies, which can be thrown to inflict toxic on an enemy, but it does build up your own toxic meter. I wanted to see if force would work against this guy, and it does not at all. So I'm pretty confident I can kill them in 3 hits, so I didn't bother blocking or dodging him. This guy thought he was going to attack, but instead he roars. I'm not 100% sure on what that does. I think it just attracts more attention to him. As you can see, he's not too difficult to bleed out. These guys can be forced, and that is definitely a good thing. I think force is, I think it's underused online because people either have Wrath of the Gods or the Dragon Roar that both have better effects, and wasting a miracle slot on it and something that does no damage. It's good against turtles, people hiding behind shields, because especially if you have a spear behind a shield, it uses more stamina than attacking normally, so someone with already depleted stamina is going to probably have their guard broken by 1 or 2 successful forces. I actually ended up dying on this one. Slowly creep up on this guy just to hit him off. Figured I'd do Blighttown this way in case anyone did not choose the Master Key as their starting gift. I haven't done Upper Blighttown in a while because I just don't like it, and I don't really see a need to do it because all of the other starting gifts are kind of awful. I mean, the other one people ever choose is the Black Fire Bombs to beat the Asylum Demon for his hammer, but it takes 40-some strength to use, and I don't understand why you would take that with a starting character, because by the time you would be close to being able to use it, you're either going to have the sack to trade to Snuggly or be on a plus, so I don't know. It scales well with strength, so I wouldn't advise just using two-handed minimum requirement. So here, force, I'm just trying to spam them off the edge. That is a jumping grab attack, and so toxic is something that I should have watched more carefully here. Down here is a very, very, very valuable pyromancy, Power Within. What it does is increase all damage you do for, I believe it's 100 seconds, by 40%. So here I'm hitting him in his little claw leg. Bled in 2 hits. Power Within. See, I got toxic there, and that will eventually kill me. It does 6 damage a second, I want to say, which is a lot more than I'm going to be able to manage. Especially not knowing too well the layout of the area here. So, you know, go up one wrong ladder or something. I see an item down there, so I figure that's either them messing with you or... See, I thought I had a blooming purple moss, but I don't. See, heal takes a good amount of time to cast, and that's why it's not ideal for when you're toxic. I thought I would get past these guys, but I tried to roll past him, and apparently that all broke, and falling damage, even though I didn't actually fall more than like 6 inches to that dirt, got me, so... This time I decided to go with the shadow set that I just picked up those stairs, which will give me much better poison resistance so that I will not get toxic in one hit. I think upgrading it reduces its poison resistance to a very serious number, but like I said, heal is a pretty decent cast time, so might want to just keep that in mind if you're going to use it. These guys do have quite the amount of health. I honestly don't even know why I'm fighting them, because they're not especially fast and can't chase me, as long as I keep moving. So I don't go out there by where the wall-hugging monster was, and am not targeted by the blow dart sniper as a result. These guys, if they're not worth parrying, they're probably not worth backstabbing. But, like I said, I was going down here and I see that item, and I remember it's a whip, which is essentially useless. Blow dart sniper, I guess, ran off an edge. When they die, you automatically pick up a purple moss clump, which can be used to heal regular poison, but not the toxic that they actually inflict. He's just happy to be here, and see, that's not realizing that you don't have a shield out. So the one time that I did try to backstab one of these guys, I have no idea how to predict their moves. It's like the crystal whatever soldiers, when they kind of back into you with their sword under their arm. I've never been able to parry that. I don't even know if you can. These guys have ridiculous fire resistance. I remember from bringing a pyromancer down here, and I just would not recommend it. Over here, I don't actually get to it. I get to it later once I get to the bonfire. Is a Wanderer set, which comes with, I want to say, a falchion, but Wanderer gloves, the manchette, I wasn't aware of the word before this, but is very good. It's, I would say, one of the best light armors for gloves. So here is the lower Blighttown bonfire, the Blighttown swamp. So over here, a lot of people do fight clubs in here. They host matches for PvP. This is a dragon scale. Dragon scales can be used to upgrade dragon weapons. I want to say the Moonlight Greatsword is one. Maybe Priscilla's dagger is one. Then, of course, you've got the Dragon King Great Axe, which just got from the Gaping Dragon. Dragon Great Sword, the Drake Sword, the... I forget. Maybe the... I forget if the Obsidian Great Sword's on there. But here, this is... I forget who I picked this trick up on. I want to say it was Vegeta on here. And if you switch from one to two-handed in the swamp, it kind of stuns. Wrong word, but it slows the lessening of your stamina bar, so that you can run longer in the swamp. Not a huge difference, obviously. Here, I just want to have one humanity because the difference between 0 and 1 is a 50% item discovery. So I do this run 2 or 3 times, I think. Putting on the Rusted Iron Ring here so I can move as if I am not in water. I'm constantly taking poison damage. I don't think that poison armor is too important for the area, just because you're inevitably going to get poisoned. I have heard that it does see, 5 green Titanite shards. I have heard that it does very slightly lessen the amount of poison damage that you get. I can't confirm that. I don't know. Never tested it any way. These guys don't have a lot of health, but they can, when they gang up on you, they're very easily going to break your guard. So again, they can drop either a large Titanite shard or 5 green Titanite shards. See that item? When you go over here, it's going to trigger that one and I want to say 2 others. That one will not turn around unless you... I forget if it's get the item or... So taking them on one at a time, they're not too big a risk. So here, more Large Titanite. Large Titanite is used to upgrade something from +5 to +10. So, of course, just searching them. They are thrown around like ragdolls whenever you walk over them, which can be difficult for finding their drops because they get all bent and wiggly. Anyway, here is the server, which I have never used. I used it one time unupgraded when I barely had the stats, when I could only two-hand it. It was a long time ago, against the Sentinels in Anor Londo, and forgetting that it was unupgraded, I was like, this thing is terrible. But it restores a tiny bit of HP with each successful hit. I think that includes against shields, but I'm not positive. That's the same effect as Smo's hammer. So, here, I am... Here I have used my humanity to revert to human form, so I can fight Maneater Mildred. Miltank. Maneater Mildred drops something like 8,000 souls, and is not the most difficult to fight. I screw up so many times and I can get away with it. To my knowledge, has very little bleed resistance, but based on her fight with Kellogg, it's next to no fire damage. I remember one time I had summoned her, and Kellogg corners her right by the beginning fog gate and just spams the AoE attack no less than 10-15 times, and just until she was dead. It's terrible. But so here, switching back from the Hornet Ring. Like I said, it's pretty much inevitable getting poisoned here. I ran through full gold hemmed the cease. Never mind. We'll get to that very soon. So just run up the side here. There are guys who will throw boulders at you, so running up this side is the easiest way to go. There is a great club over there, and I forget if they drop large clubs. They can also drop pickaxes, which is a... Actually, I thought it was a terrible strength weapon, but it's actually not bad, so that's good. Up here, if you are in human form, and I am for fighting Mildred, you can summon Maneater Mildred, and she's mostly good as a distraction. It does increase Kellogg's health, but as I said, this is mostly meant to be a beginner-friendly run. Whenever I've done my challenge runs, I've done no summons, but I figure this is going to make it a simpler run-through. I had no idea how much damage I was going to be doing. I took a plus 10 bandit's knife in here, and it was doing, I think, 21 damage or something two-handed. And that was just awful. It took me a number of tries. So that's what the gold pine resin's for. I didn't know if I'd have to use it. Gold pine resin, of course, is very effective against the gaping dragon. So, this seems to be everyone's favorite cutscene. Can't get into that too much, but figured I'd leave it in here for all of you. Apparently during one of the developer interviews, they had her talking originally, but then they thought that kind of ruined the mood of the thing, so... Okay. Getting too close to her, she can trap you inside her legs, spider legs, that is. And I am just terrible at dodging that today. See, Miltank is only getting hit 30 damage in the lava. Do not expect that to hold true for you as well. It's very rare that I get to do a heal miracle during a boss fight. Something that I found really interesting that I've never heard anyone mention, if you look at the fire itself, it looks like it has little symbols going on there. I know absolutely nothing of Japanese, so I don't know if those are meant to be words or something. It looks like little symbols, the fire coming off her back. The same symbols that you see in the glowing red orbs around the Bed of Chaos roots. So, if anyone has ever noticed the same thing, just take a look closer back at the video at, I would guess, 20 seconds ago. So, when she does this breathing out lava, is the time to attack. She does that when her human torso drops and she looks down, almost as if she's passed out or something. She is about to do an area of effect attack. That, run. Will do enormous damage. Like I said, don't risk getting stuck in between the spider legs. I've been trapped in there a number of times. I can't get out at this point, so I'm gonna have to... The lava actually did significantly less damage than I thought it would. Okay, that is a shorter wind-up time area of effect that only comes out the back. But as you can see, not a ton to worry about. I guess I ended up letting Miltank kill her, but not too much to worry about on that front. So, Twin Humanities as well as 20,000 souls. That's good. So, to the reason we came here, the second bell of awakening. something I have been wondering. All the giants, the sentinels, are giants, given that they wear giant's armor and are giant. I wonder what connection they have to whoever Sen is, because he's clearly got one
dear.
opening.
What have we here? Are you?
You say yes to this and I'll let you by.
No matter. I pray that you will mind.
This is the Chaos Servant Covenant. Essentially the only purpose for it is to, once you donate 30 humanity to it, she opens up a shortcut that you can later use to save Solaire. If you do not open up the shortcut, you cannot save him, and he will go hollow, and you'll either avoid him or have to put him down. Like I was saying before, I have been wondering about the connection between the giants, and because it seems that the giants are from Anorlanto. If you talk to Goff in the DLC, he asks about the giant blacksmith. So I don't know if giants are specific to Anorlanto. The building sizes seem to suggest it. But I figured there's not really, I don't plan on getting hit by the Ceaseless. So, and if so, what is one doing waiting around to open up the way to Anorlanto? If, the way I see it, if they wanted people there, Sen's Fortress wouldn't be blocked off, but what motivation would Sen, or whoever is in charge of Sen's Fortress, have for letting someone or whatever has rung both bells of awakening into Sen's Fortress? Clearly it's designed as to keep people out. Unless he just... I don't know. I've been wondering about that. So this is the Ceaseless Discharge fight, which I cannot explain the name for. Walking up here, as you will read in the charred orange ring description, this is one of the brothers to the Daughters of Chaos, the Witch of Ceaseless daughters. There is a legit way to fight him, but I do not take it because I do not do enough damage for it to be worth watching. So what you're going to want to do is wait for that lava attack. So just standing there is perfectly fine. Then run through here. Do not stop running. All the way back to the fog. Now, something that you might not know is if you screw up on this the first time, he won't jump over on the second or third attempt. You'll have to fight him relatively fairly, or you can go in that little path. Okay, this takes, I want to say 6 hits, no matter what you hit him with. I've done it with fists, and it does a total of 30 damage, maybe. Not even. And so, as I was saying, you can also run through the area, and right around the corner that you're coming from, when he slams down his tentacle fist thing, you can just wait that out, and he will slam it there, and you can just hit that, and he can't hit you. So that's another way to cheat if you screwed up the first time. So Ceaseless Discharge was he is the brother of the Daughters of Chaos, and once you have to beat him in order, well, I remember that one of the creators of the game, creative director, I want to say Miyazaki, said that there's a way to beat him, or to progress without beating him, and people thought that he was just kind of messing with them after the whole pendant thing. But there is actually a way to do it. You need very high fire resistance and Darkwood Grain Ring, and you can get by rolling over and healing in between on a couple little islands in the lava. I've seen it in a speed run. So, going down here, just spending the 20,000 souls, I want to get more attunement and intelligence so I can get Hidden Body. I never realized that it was actually worth anything, so, but I used that with the Ulysseal Ivory Catalyst that I picked up from Dusk, and back to here, put on the Ceaseless set, or Gold Hem Black set, which has very good fire resistance as well as poison resistance, which also applies to Toxic. I forget if I included, I don't think I did. I got to the top and accidentally rolled off, so I don't think I put that death in here. Yeah, I didn't. So, Hidden Body, it's just a very, very useful utility spell. What it does is cut down the aggro, the aggression range, to about half of most enemies for about 30 seconds. You look just kind of transparent. It's very similar to the effect of the Ring of Fog, but Hidden Body has a greater reduction on the range. So here I figured I have Hidden Body anyway, I might as well go for it. I was climbing up here and I see him shooting at me, and I figured, well, I might as well give it a go. Apparently he can still see me just fine, but the ones that haven't already seen me cannot. So these guys will not respawn. So once you take them down, that's the end of it. Going over here to get a Firekeeper soul. I have zero idea what a Firekeeper was doing in there, but again. So, coming through here, these guys would normally be harassing me, toxic darts, the other dog would be coming to get me. I think he's starting to detect that something's up, but be suspicious, but like I said, these guys auto-loot Purple Moss Clump, or two of them. That was me hitting the wall, which made noise and triggered the last Blow Dart Sniper over there. So, last Hidden Body, like I said, it only lasts for, I don't know if it's 30 seconds or what. That can be lengthened with the Lingering Dragon Crest Ring, which you can buy for 20,000 souls from Griggs of Vinheim, which is the guy you saved down in the lower Undead Burg, using the Residence Key. I don't think the Master Key works, but which I never understood, because the Master Key opens the other Undead Burg residence, which otherwise requires the Residence Key, so it opens up one, but not the other. Anyway. Lingering Dragon Crest Ring also lengthens the effect of Power Within, meaning it does the same amount of damage over a longer period of time, 50% longer. So you take, well, if it does, let's say, 1,000 damage over a minute, it cuts down by, I want to say, a third the amount of damage per second, which very effective, as well as just lengthening the effects of it overall. Power Within, the pyromancy that we picked up by that big monster hugging the wall in Upper Blighttown, is a pyromancy that increases all your damage by 40%. It used to do more damage if you used it with an upgraded pyromancy flame, but it no longer does. In one of the patches, they changed that. Okay, this, you just picked up the key for that in a chest, top floor right before those big guys, and otherwise you can use the Master Key. So as soon as you start the game and you get to Firelink, you can take the Master Key down and head up to Blighttown. You can. I can't say I recommend it, because Blighttown is tough for a low-level character, but like I said, Dark Souls lets you do whatever you want, whenever you want. Something I completely forgot about Lautrec, but thankfully I'm gonna have to go to Anorlando before the Four Kings, so I have no emotes for this. So she drops Anastasia, drops her clothes, which, I mean, that's Lautrec for you, but drops her clothes and also a black eye orb, which you're going to use later in the game to invade Lautrec's world and get revenge. That gives you later on access to his armor.
I will be. So it was a.
Hey, Petrus.
Oh, miracle.
I hate him. That is another miracle.
Come again.
Which I do intend to buy. Because on most of my characters, after farming for enough souls and whatever else, it's actually not even farming. Once I get to higher levels especially, and I don't spend them on levels, I
Come again.
keep 99 homeward bones on hand at all times. I have never used any glitch at all to get souls, leveling, any of that. No dragon head, bottomless boss, any of that. And I always have 99, you know, dung pies, poison knives, and homeward bones with me at pretty much all times. Just because why not, and they're cheap. And if I'm not guiding someone through how to get places, then I figure I might as well just teleport around everywhere. So, getting back here to the Undead Parish. This connects to Sen's Fortress, which, as you saw with the giant pulling the chain, is now open. I have forgotten to show Sigmire waiting around, but we can meet him inside, and the next challenge, possibly barring some farming, will be Sen's Fortress. So that's what's ahead.